I'm back. I've returned. I'm in a new office with a new microphone, with a new mic stand, with a new desk, with some new switches too. I picked up some of the Clickies from Zeal, and today I just want to go into some of my impressions, comparisons to some other Clicky switches I got laying around, and then just kind of wrap it up all at the end with some overall thoughts on them. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, we have two types of Clicky switches. We have the 40 gram bottom out and we have the 75 gram bottom out. So they have a little bit of a difference in sound, but overall I just prefer the feel of the 40 gram. They're not too incredibly different. So real quick, let's just take a look at one of the 40 gram switches, pulled apart. So you have the bottom housing and top housing, and then we have a Gateron cap stem. So it means that instead of the stem having a pole that goes down into the bottom housing actually has a pole that kind of sticks up in the middle. If you can kind of see that, that goes into the stem itself. So this is meant to prevent lube from pooling up at the bottom of the stem, as well as to provide a little bit of extra stability for stuff like stem wobble. We also have a pretty long spring, so you won't really be able to find too many replacements right now, I don't think, just because of the cap stem. It's not the same size as like a traditional MX switch spring. And then last but not least, we have the click leaf that goes inside the switch. So that's what that looks like, and it's got these little fangs on the end, which are what give it its click and its tactility. So if we look at the bottom housing again, we can take a look at where this leaf goes. So if you can see on that left side, right by those 4 holes, there's kind of a line inside the switch. So above those 4 holes is where we would put our click leaf if we want it to be in the clicky mode, because you can change it between tactile, clicky, linear, all the above. So it's a little bit tricky to put back together if I don't drop the spring. Just making sure that you don't crush the click leaf in the process. So what I typically like to do is I get everything lined up, and as soon as I kind of get everything towards the bottom, I kind of just turn it so that the click leaf can fall inside the switch. And then once it's like that, I'll close it, and then it's good to go. So I would just be careful if you're going to dismantle them and put them back together, just because you very easily can bend that click leaf and it'll change the tactility or the click a little bit, or you could just bend it completely and probably have to toss the leaf itself. So aside from that, I just wanted to compare the Clickies to some existing Clicky switches that I have. So I got a few right here. An honorable mention, that I can't really include is the Novel Keys sherbet, whatever this Clicky was. I couldn't get it to fit in my plate, and I really didn't feel like forcing it in there. So out of luck there. But I've got, let's see, let's just pull up the picture that I have. So from left to right, we've got Cherry MX Blues, we have Gateron Ink Blues, we have Kale Box Whites, a Box Pale Blue, a Box Jade, a Box Navy, a Clickiez 40 gram, and a Clickiez 75 gram. So here's a side-by-side comparison of all those switches. Okay, so in terms of sound, the Clickies offer a unique and bassier kind of click compared to the higher pitch click of a click bar and the rattly click of a click jacket. It's really sharp and satisfying in my opinion. So just as one last side by side, I'm gonna do the Clickies, the Box Jades, and then the MX Blue, and then I'll finish up with the Clickies again just to get a side by side. So the sound between all those different click mechanisms are quite different. And then when it comes to the tactility of the Clickies, I think that it puts the click bars to shame when you're comparing those two. And then compared to click jackets, it's just a whole nother league of clicky switch in my opinion. I would absolutely pick the Clickies with the click leaf over the click jacket any day. And then when looking at the weighting of the spring, because there was the 40 gram option and then the 75 gram option, 40 gram kind of sounds light at first until you realize that it goes up to a peak force of 73 grams before having an actuation force of 32 grams. So that has what, a 41 gram drop for its tactile event, which is pretty significant. And with linears, I'm used to using around 60, 62 grams. So having a peak force of 73 grams sounded pretty good to me. So that's why I went with the 40 gram option. But when comparing the numbers of the 75 gram to the 40 gram, the 40 gram has a 73 gram peak force, which, like I said, is my preference. But the 75 gram version has a 95 gram peak force. That's almost 100 grams. And then it drops to 58 grams for the actuation. So with the 40 grams, you drop 41 grams from the peak force to the actuation force. And then for the 75 gram option, you drop a little less than 40. So you don't drop as much, and I feel that affects the tactility that you kind of feel between the two. And I think that the 40 gram variant actually feels a little bit more tactile than the 75 gram variant. And unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure of trying out Alps switches myself, but for an MX style clicky switch, I really think that the Zeal Clickies hold the crown in modern day switch options. But of course, this great clicky comes at a great price. It'll run you about $1.30 per switch for the pre-order price, and it'll go for $1.50 per switch for the in-stock price. So that is an insanely expensive switch. And while I do personally enjoy the Clickies a lot, the price is a pretty huge breaking point for a lot of people. And only you can really determine what's right for you and what you deem acceptable within your price range. But I do think that Clickies offer something unique for MX style switch offerings today. But at the same time, it's around $117 before tax and shipping to fill a TKL, and that's pretty damn rough. But anyway, I'll do a sound test for the Clickies in my Bakeneko with the 40 gram variant. But let me know what you think of Clickies in the comments, and if you think that they're worth the premium or not. But drop a like and subscribe if you like hearing my thoughts, and I hope to see you again soon. Peace.